that strand, that would kind of be a room where your branding will be highly visible. You'll be given an opportunity to kind of say a brief message to the attendees directly. We will work with the strand leads to make sure we work that into the schedule. Also, last year, we heard some feedback about possibly adding a booth to it. So we've added that element as well. So with this sponsorship, you do get a booth in the space as well. So it's a really, really great place to be. Your name's going to be everywhere, which is great. And then the Sunday welcome reception. Last year, we had a really great turnout with our receptions. And so we wanted to see, and we wanted to kind of call out. We did have a sponsor last year, and their feedback was that they had great visibility, great networking. So, I feel like sometimes our receptions aren't always picked up, but I think it's a really great way for people to be there. You'd be able to have a kickoff welcome message to the attendees, and just like a really great way to kind of kick off and set the tone for the conference. So definitely food for thought there as well. And as always, our sponsorships opportunities are always a place to start. So if you do have other ideas, or you have how to expand on any of these, please feel free to reach out to me or Taylor, and we're happy to kind of work through what you're envisioning for a sponsorship opportunity with us there. The other thing is booth selection. So currently, our associate members are able to register for a booth, or register as a booth exhibitor on our website. And what I will do, unfortunately, through that system, there's not a way to select what booth number you would like. So I will be reaching out to everyone personally that has signed up for a booth, to confirm what number you'll be getting. And I have the floor plan and everything, and I'll be sharing that as well. I think that's my spiel. Are there any questions?
Norma, you got to get better. You got to get better. Get better.
I know. It's from the state conference, like since before the state conference. I don't know what to do.
But you do sound a lot better than you did at the conference, though.
The conference was a hot mess, but yes, thank you. Or I was, not the conference. The conference was great.
I appreciate the clarification there.
Yeah, please.
I saw a question in the chat about attendees. Last year we had 105 educators, and each year our events are showing growth, so we anticipate over 100.
So Taylor, what was the breakdown between veteran soups, new soups, and high school?
That's such a good question. I don't know off the top of my head, but I can download a report.
I mean, roughly.
I think it was roughly equal, is what I recall.
Okay.
Looking at, I mean, they're about the same number in each category.
Okay, a third.
We do have a good group of high school leaders that come, which is always nice to see. It's a little hard to do the split between the superintendent and veteran, new and veteran, because that's not usually something there's not a clear line between when you become a veteran versus new.
Yeah. So basically about 2/3 are sitting soups. That's useful to know for us. Thank you.
It's a great conference from the perspective of people being very relaxed. It's in the summer. I found that the networking was amazing, but far more effective at this summer event than it usually is at an annual conference, because a lot of people are in and out, or they're rushing, or they can only stay for a portion. I got the sense that people were relaxed at last year. It was a great conference, and I'm expecting growth. Taylor, we already have, we just have the registration out for a couple of weeks now since the annual conference. And I'm getting pinged 4 or 5 a day now of registration. So I'm assuming we're probably have a pretty close to 100 already. So it's a good sign that we'll have a good showing at this conference.
Where do you think, and Taylor, this might be in the report you're going to pull, but where do you think you see the most growth? in attendance? Like which category? High school leaders versus soups, again, equal? Do you have any idea conceptually?
That's
I
a
can
good
jump in.
question.
I can predict that. I predict that where we're going to see most of the growth is going to be in superintendent and board members. I'm seeing a lot of people wanting to bring their board members to the conference. We had a
Mhm.
handful last year, and I think there's going to be growth in that area. I'm hopeful that we start to see some CBOs and other leaders like assistant superintendents for HR
Mhm.
and curriculum start to attend the conference,
Mhm.
because it is, we did have some really good presentations last year.
Mhm.
That always is a good builder for subsequent years.
Okay, that would be nice. We'd like to see that too. The diversity, bringing the board members, I always appreciate, but they don't get in the weeds to really understand a lot of what the needs are, but it's good for them to be there so they could see opportunity. But we really want to support getting the voices heard for needs, which of course National University has solutions for. So I'm going to see about putting in an opportunity for us. But and so what we can do is we will make sure to promote to our partners that are outside of the SSDA partners that are relevant for this conference as well, to see if we can help get those categorized individuals motivated to see the value. So that's what we can try and do.
On this conference, and Norma, maybe you can help me, because we have the booth situation is a little bit more limited because of the facility. And so like we want to have sponsors, and we would love to have sponsors, but we do cap out on this one. And I think we capped out at last year's in terms of the number of booths available, which I think is good for you, for those of you that want to attend. It's good because you don't have such a heavy ratio, right? You want to have a good balance between district folks and booths, or associates, so that you have the opportunity you don't start intermingling with just other associates, right? You're mingling with district staff. Norma, how many booths do we have at this conference?
So last year we had a total of 20 booths, but this year I managed to add an extra 5. So we are trying to maximize our sponsorships. We want as many sponsors to be able to, and in this intimate setting, like Yuri said, it's such a great place to network. So trying to maximize that on our end as well. So we have 25 booths this year.
And that's why I mentioned that, because I think it's important for our associates to know that, that I think the setup is perfect for associates to mingle with our district folks, our district members. And the other thing is that there are fewer opportunities to be sponsors of events and things. So as Norma's pointing out, we're kicking off the big sponsorships. I think to consider the Strands is a really prime opportunity for you to showcase within the Strand, because you will be presenting the speakers throughout the day. And I think we've like 2.5 days worth of speakers. You'll be able to participate with the Strand leads, which are veteran superintendents, in terms of the development of how the day works out and what's presented, and opportunities to kind of put plugs in throughout the day, in a rotating number of members that are participating in different sessions, right? So just because you're in one Strand doesn't mean you can't attend sessions in other Strands. So you'll get a float of people throughout the day, which I think is really a prime opportunity for our associates. Taylor, I didn't mean to take over the meeting from you guys, right?
Please do take over every single meeting that you want to.
Hey Taylor, I just switched from my phone to my computer. Could you resend those 2 links? Because now that I'm on my computer, I don't have those 2 links in the chat, if you don't mind. Please and thank you.
Yeah, totally. And I pulled the actuals from last year, And it looked like we had 28 high school leaders, 38 new superintendents, and 58 vets.
How do the vets impact the goals that you have for this event, for the attendees? How does their attendance impact the bigger picture?
Well, you know, the networking, right? The networking with our veteran superintendents, between veteran superintendents and new superintendents,
Mm-hmm.
is why the conference is titled this way, right? So that
Mm.
our veterans are encouraged from our leadership, primarily encourage our veteran superintendents to kind of network with those new superintendents and those high school leaders that are looking to take on roles as superintendents, because these are folks that, you know, are in their career path wanting to move up, right, to a superintendent type of role. And so the way we entitled it is, and you'll see that our veteran superintendents are running the strand for the new superintendents and for the high school leaders. So that is the opportunity for them to kind of
Mentorship, guidance,
yeah,
resource pool, which is how we've customized our
exactly.
program that you're aware of. Okay,
So I thought that was a good question, because for our perspective as Teachers Pension, the high school leaders are not a target audience, and new soups have too much on their plate right off the bat to look at some of our services. So that's very helpful. And just a suggestion as a marketing device, I also work for a superintendent search firm. You know, the districts that are already hiring for this coming year, I would make sure that their board and their search firm know that this conference is there for new soups. So it's a great marketing opportunity, because as a search consultant, we always talk to boards about getting your new superintendent professional development.
I
No,
really
that's a
like
great
that
idea.
suggestion. That's
It's a great idea. Taylor,
I
maybe
have a
we know the search firms. We should send them the conference information.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I have a question in response to that statement, Jim. Knowing that some of the high school leaders are superintendent principals, why do you not consider them to be a target audience?
Superintendent principal's fine, but just a high school principal is not a target audience for us. A superintendent / principal is part of the target audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. High school principals don't usually have an authority to make those type of financial decisions for a district.
Okay, but a superintendent of a high school district,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
do have interest in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because in that case, when board members are coming, if they're having conversations while they're there, the superintendents, if they have a different process because the board needs to approve, because in some instances that's the case, then being able to interact with superintendents who are champions to get a board to understand and to approve is also valuable. Whereas everyone's going to have a different relationship with each individual, but that is how we navigate. Our products aren't necessarily outright purchasing. It's going to be an individual purchase, but what we seek out are champions to help spread our message for the solutions we're creating for the rural school district community, all the way from classified staff all the way up to superintendents. And so in that case, there could be special projects that need to be championed aside from basic valuable information that just isn't getting to the staff so that they recognize the solutions we've created for them for their continuing education needs. So that would be our position in attending.
So, and Taylor, I would add that we're not ignoring the high school principals, because we're planting seeds for when they become superintendents.
Okay. Yeah, that's all really helpful. Thank you.
And I would say that even, just to keep in mind that oftentimes if a principal is coming to a conference like this, they're coming with their superintendent. I mean, it's rare that folks at a principal level would show up at a conference by themselves. Or if they do, they're bringing back information. But a lot of our districts are small, right? In a high school district, you're generally finding it's the principal and the superintendent, right? So
Yeah.
there are a few that aren't, but
Yeah. And they are valuable, to your point. They absolutely are.
the other thing in the link, again, I'll mention again, is the proposals to do presentations. I think if you guys have an opportunity to partner with the superintendent or somebody else in the school environment to do those presentations, I find that those tend to be the most valuable, where you have both a school official and an associate that has a product that is being used by a district, and those are the best opportunities to sell a product, because it's not just being sold by you as an associate, it's being sold by the person you've teamed up with to make those presentations and to show why your particular product or your particular service is benefiting kids in our districts.
Really good point, Yuri.
Please submit proposals.
While we're talking about the proposal, figured I'd just pull it up and see if anybody has any questions about it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I don't see my little green square. So you'll see that we have listed some topics that we're looking for, that we're interested in, but it's pretty open-ended as well. If you have something else that you think might be of value, please do feel free to submit a proposal. And the first page kind of details just an overview, and we ask for some basic information. But on the second page, you'll see there's even more detail about what we might be looking for, the time requirements and other details like that. And you can get as detailed as you want to with this. You can submit, Norma, I think I'm speaking correctly here, that you can present, or you can submit your presentation through here, so we can actually review the presentation if it's ready. We ask for your speaker bios, so you can get really detailed here. And
How long are the sessions?
they're 50 minutes.
Okay, just like the conference. Okay.
Yeah, and then the RFP deadline, I will call out, is coming up quickly. It's Friday, April 19th. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Norma and we can help you get these submitted as soon as possible.
Or if you have any issues uploading through this form, just shoot me an email directly with your presentation and let me know if you submit more than one, which one it's associated with, and I'll make sure I keep those organized.
Good stuff. I think that's mostly what I wanted to show you. Does anybody have any questions about the form? It's nothing new. You've seen it before if you've submitted a form with us.
In regards to the presentation, we would be co-collaborating with the superintendent for our submission, and we wouldn't have it ready yet. It's going to take some time to do. So what's your advice so that we can get the proposal in, knowing though that unfortunately, I mean, I can show you a version, but we'd want to tailor it, and that's what would take time.
It's not required.
Okay.
You're not requiring the presentations being done. I recognize that. I've done many presentations, Taylor, I'm usually submitting them the week before, and I think that's fine. We would like to have them in advance of the conference. What we're finding is it eliminates the need for people to kill trees and guesstimate how many people are going to show up for their sessions, right? And it allows people to pull them up on their phones and to have them after the conference and not feel like they have to carry a box of paper back home.
Right.
Presentations, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we will put the final presentations in a Google Drive folder and link that on the homepage of our website and send it out to the attendees. So they'll have like a digital copy of it, but we won't ask for that final presentation until I think the deadline's the week before the conference. So you have time.
And
Okay.
and as just for your knowledge as associates, one of the things that we're working on is developing a platform that will allow folks in districts to be able to access information that has been provided to the association over the years. So for instance, if you do a fabulous presentation on math curriculum and we have a member who is looking for something in the math curriculum area, they will be able to go onto our platform and it will point them in the direction of, here are the 3 presentations that have been made to SSDA on math curriculum in the past couple of years. And that way it kind of is a permanent repository of information that continue to drive people in the direction of, presentations and information that's been presented to us over the years. And we're looking at using some AI to be able to synthesize that information as well and summarize it. So we have some great things in the works, and we're looking forward. And so we're keeping all of this stuff in our drive to be able to have it as a resource for our members.
One last
Question?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You had a question. Go ahead.
That me? Oh, go ahead. I'll go after. I'll go last.
Quickly, my question is, we know charter entities are being welcomed into the community. Do you see them in registering yet right now? Being this might be the first year, I'd be curious what you're seeing in regards to that community.
We had them at the annual conference. I mean, Taylor, last year, did we have charters?
We did, yeah. Charters have actually been a welcomed participant in SSDA for many years. We have a strong partnership with CCAP, and last year, oh no, they didn't present last year, but CCAP did attend last year. And CCAP had a presentation at our state conference this year. And one of our keynote speakers last year at this event is a charter superintendent. So we definitely have charter representation.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I hold a partnership with CCSA, and that account has grown over 200% beyond our estimated goal this year, mainly because of the credentialing needs. The mandate is just the window. And so, of course, we're gaining a lot of traction to support that community there. So I was curious what you've been seeing as well, because I noticed that the member registry, it's more and more.
We're partnered with CCSA as well.
Awesome.
Greg, go ahead.
Okay. 2-part question. Sorry if you already answered the first one, Taylor. Do we select one of the strands when we make our selection doing the RFP? And then my second part of the question was, let's say we pick new superintendent, but that whole enough people put in for that one. Do you guys then say, hey, do you want to be in the new superintendent or existing superintendent? Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Okay.
I love it. The 3 of us are nodding our heads. We're all like, yes, yep.
Okay.
So the question is,
in a bucket, right? You have, there are 3 strands, and the strands leads are putting the strands together based on the presentations, but they're all in a bucket. So if there is a spot in another, we will come back to you and say, we've got a spot in this other strand. Would you like to take it? You're also able to check multiple strands. So if you want to check all 3, check all 3.
Okay, that was my third question. So perfect.
And we have also an opportunity, if you're interested, because what we're trying to do is build these conferences much earlier than waiting till 4 months before the conference. So if you want to speak at the annual conference next year, there's a box there to check as well. And we're starting to look for proposals for that, so that we can, I think it's a very valuable to our members to, when they decide to register for a conference, to kind of get an idea of what the lineup looks like. And that helps start the conference. So please check that box as well if you're interested in presenting next year at our annual.
Well, I'm going to add a 4th question to Craig's list of 3. So could we write I could see possibly writing a similar proposal, but tailoring it different to each audience. So is that fine? Rather than just checking the box for all three? And then my last question is, or it's a double part, is there an overarching theme for the conference, and do the strands have themes? Because I like to tailor proposals to the themes.
That's a great question. Norma, I know we've got a little bit of a theme, don't we, on this one?
So we're working on that. As soon as I have that, I will share that out. We'll make sure I'll as soon as I'll add it to the RFP and everything. But that's under works. But yes, I mean, who doesn't love a theme? So
Yeah.
we will make sure that we you know, our content and everything. It's kind of the blood source of that strand for sure. So
Okay, thanks.
yeah.
Well, I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. I see that it's 11:02. Does anybody have any closing thoughts, feelings, opinions, questions?
When are we going to receive the opportunity to submit for a table?
That is actually already live. I will drop a link in the chat to that as well.
Yeah, so so just sign, you can register as a booth exhibitor. And we have a limited number of those. We've limited it obviously to what we have to offer. And then I will reach out to people on like an ongoing basis to see, you know, if you've registered, I'll reach out and let you select your booth.
And we will do that first come, first serve. So if you register, if you're the first booth, I think we may already have one booth, but if you, as you register, we'll reach out to you in that order to give you the option for the available booths.
Yeah.
So they're not assigned by your membership category.
You get to pick. I think that they're Norma, do we have I think we have a handful of premium booths that are assigned based on the level of
Yeah, so we do have, I currently have it out, our signature sponsors selecting the booth now, but I will, after that, I'll just go down the list as first come, first serve. But yeah.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and before I let you all go, one more thing came to mind. If you haven't done so already, it is time to renew registration, your membership with SSDA. So membership renews July 1, and we have made some changes to our membership tiers. So I just dropped a link in the chat to our associate membership application. Looking at those of you who are on the screen, I think most of you already know this, but if you have any questions, please reach out and submit your application for your renewal if you haven't done so already.
Taylor, thank you. I know that we've had some questions raised about this, and we really appreciate your patience. I know the organization went through some restructuring over the course of last year. We're trying to develop a model that best works from the perspective of how the organization provides services to its members and to associates. And this is where it came out. I know there's been some questions and things raised. I'm happy to chat with anybody. I know you've had opportunities to provide feedback on this in the past. I'll continue to have keep an open ear and listen and to how we can best serve you with respect to the memberships. But we do appreciate your patience. Any change is challenging, right? But I think this is going to be really beneficial, not only to your participation in the association, but also from the services we provide our members. So thank you. Excellent.
That, I hope you all have
a wonderful day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stuart, thank you for joining us. It's always good to see you.
Oh, Yuri.